hasn't been great from you from an injury standpoint. You've been kind of banged up. Could you give us a little bit of like a running timeline of when the injury started really, affecting you a good bit and sort of how you feel now?
Slid into second base. I think it was the last non-con of the year. Just hand got caught in the bag. Kind of jammed my shoulder up a little bit. And, just kind of lingered for a while there. Off and on, that type of thing, information. But as far as right now, I haven't had pain in weeks. Feeling better than ever, which is, credit to our training staff. Everyone, they've done a great job with me. And making sure, I'm ready to go. But, as a whole, I'm really excited to get this week.
You guys, you have won a regional on the road, and you lost a regional at home. And I'm guessing about every year, I bet about a third of the home regional teams don't advance. Just kind of the numbers. But you guys are 33-3 at home. How good is that? How glad are you to be playing at home? How big an advantage do you think that is?
I mean, it's huge. Obviously, most teams play better at home than they do on the road. And, you practice on the same field every day. You're out here pretty much 7 days a week. And so being able just to be comfortable in your own ballpark, like, the weather, the wind, all that type of stuff, the surface that you're playing on. So we're super excited to be able to play in front of, the greatest fans in college baseball and just go out here and have this opportunity to play more baseball because there's a lot of teams that weren't able to make the tournament. So we're very fortunate to be able to play some more games in front of our home fans.
Hagen, sorry. Thanks. Hagen, just from a pitching staff as a whole, how do you guys feel as you guys kind of mentally prepare? What's the message with the staff as you guys get ready for this regional?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any message in particular, but we feel really good. I mean, everybody's been throwing bullpens this week, kind of leading up to this weekend, and having those extra days after the Hoover, I mean, it's awesome as a staff. I mean, just get a couple days off and go throwing, so everybody feels really fresh.
Hagen, Coach Van Horn has said a lot about how your off season and the way you prepare for this season kind of set you up for the success you had this year. I'm wondering, how much did the way last year ended in the regional for you personally maybe fuel that throughout the off season?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a little bit, especially early in the off season, just kind of have that in mind. But I mean, going into this year, it's a completely different year and a completely different pitcher, so you just didn't really think about it much after the off season last year.
I guess good for Kendall and Peyton, because I don't think Hagen's going to play tomorrow. But what's your all's thoughts on Southeast Missouri? They're obviously a 4 seed, but they won their tournament. Their coach played for Dave and everything, and I'm sure they're pretty excited to come in here and get a shot at you guys. What are your thoughts about Southeast Missouri State?
Yeah, I mean they're anybody that makes a tournament's a really good team. So we got to show up. We got to play really good. Kind of like Coach Van Horn's talked about, like. They got a lot of extra base hits. They also they'll bunt runners over, do the little things right. So we got to show up and we got to play good. And I'm sure if he was coached under Coach Van Horn or played under him, then he's probably a good coach. So we're looking forward to it, and it's going to be fun. And we just got to go out there and play 100% and play hard, and the rest will take care of itself hopefully.
Yeah, like you said, making the postseason is not easy to do. So I say with tons of respect for them. Peyton touched on, a lot of extra base hits, good runners all around the board, So definitely, not taking anyone lightly. We're just gonna go out there and play our game.
Hagen, Mason kind of talked about after the SEC tournament, just a reset and how comfortable, moving to the bullpen has kind of reignited. And what have you seen from him since, making that switch, and how has he kind of gotten himself back into form here the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, that was huge for him. When they had told whenever I found out he was going to the bullpen, I thought it was going to help him a lot. Just going in the bullpen, you can't really think about anything. You just go out there and attack and compete. And ultimately, I think that's what he needed. Just go out there and trust the stuff and just go. Do
you have any conversations with him since you had a lot of experience pitching out of the bullpen last year and everything?
Not really in depth, honestly. I think he threw out the bullpen a little bit his freshman year at Texas Tech, so he had experience doing it. And ultimately, it helped him a lot.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think you were saying that you weren't going to announce. So what generally are you thinking about pitching? What did SEMO splits look like? What plans can you tell us for the weekend?
Their splits are pretty close to the same. Lefties are a little better against them, but that's normal. We'll just announce it later at the meeting like everybody else does.
You could just tell us and we could promise not to tell anybody. Yeah. Yeah. You kind of like I asked the players, you've been to a bunch of regionals, you've advanced from home, you've advanced from the road, but it's got to be nice to be playing where you're 33-3. Just your thoughts on the home field advantage.
Well, it's good to be here, especially when you're coming off like a 9-10 day road trip. We didn't have to load back up after getting a few days off and head out again. We just get to continue our routine, and rest is good at this time of the year for any Division I team. It's tough trying to get through and maneuver through the league, and you see the ebbs and flows, ups and downs. You got teams that lose 3, win 3. It's just, I think if we played another 30 game schedule on top of the 30, you would see things flip around just like minor leagues, and teams are all pretty close to even. Some have a little more pitch and some have more hitting, but it's just the way the game works. In the big leagues they play 162, and it seems kind of crazy, but that's a lot of games. But sometimes it goes down to the last day after all those games. So my point being that you get through the SEC, it'll beat you down a little bit, and so rest was really good for us.
Dave, you hit Kendall in the leadoff spot down in Hoover. I'm curious, do you like him in that spot, or was that maybe kind of a move to try to get him more at bats, try to get him going a little bit?
Try to get him going, get some at bats. Always thinking about the future, which is now. So just to try to change it up for him mentally. His biggest thing is he's got to swing the bat more. He takes a lot of pitches, and he knows that. I'd like to see him let it go every now and then earlier in the count.
Coach, obviously you've yourself had a lot of deep runs in the postseason, done just about all in the NCAA tournament, but you've also got a lot of guys on your team that were there in Omaha in 2022 and were there last year when you lost in the regional. Do you feel like that all kind of adds to the chip on this team's shoulder, that they've kind of been there and they know what it's like and now they want to go win it?
Well, I think so. I don't know why, those experiences wouldn't help you. I don't feel like anybody's ready to go home yet. I don't feel like that they've checked it in mentally. That's not what I've seen the last few days. We'll see how it goes on the field. And again, if we play good, we have a chance. If we don't, we won't get out of here. It's just the way it is.
Dave, early in your career, you would host a regional, and then there'd be 2 or 3 years you'd go on the road. Is it lost on you how often you've been here in Baum during the postseason the last several years?
Yeah, we talk about it as a staff that, it's hard to get to host, hard to finish as a top 8. We've done that a lot in the last 5-6 years. It's a credit to the players and their work ethic, attitude, just the way the locker room is, and the culture of our program to continue to win some midweek games or maybe an extra game on the weekend when maybe we shouldn't. And they all add up, and instead of having 34 wins, you got 40, and then you got a chance. And we've done a good job at that. Coaches have done a great job. So, but really, it's all about the players. The players, they win the games for you, and we just try to put them in a position to have success. Sometimes we don't do the right things. Sometimes they bail us out, but it's about the players.
Do you have an update on Cooper Dawson?
Yeah, he won't pitch anymore this season, but he is not going to need surgery.
Okay.
Christian Fauch has been so good for you guys, but I think there's only been one weekend where he's pitched twice in a weekend. How comfortable are you if you need him, maybe stretch him out, giving him the 2 appearances this weekend?
Yeah, we could use him twice. Not a problem. We're good with it. Now if we put him in and he just kept going and ended up throwing 3 or 4 innings, then we probably wouldn't, unless it was maybe just one hitter. But that would be his call on that. But I'm comfortable using him an inning or 2 and then bringing him back and using him another inning or 2.
Dave, I remember when we were in Oklahoma State and you talked about that team after the SEC, there was just a switch with that team and everything kind of changed. Have you seen with this team maybe just an elevated concentration or just maybe a different approach to the last couple of days now that the postseason's here?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head on the last couple of days. It's been different. today was laid back out there, but we've had a couple, 3 good days out here. First day was good, a little bit of talking before, and players have been doing some talking amongst themselves about goals and different things, that we haven't been involved in, which is great. And then our message to them, and then really good workout. And the second was a little more physical type practice, kind of getting that back in their system. Then yesterday was a little lighter, but it was still really upbeat and loud and verbal. And then, today was a little more, I told them today I really wanted them to take it easy. And yeah, I feel like that we're in a good place mentally. That could be shut down by another team's pitcher or just maybe their team, but we're in a good place right now. You take away a few injuries, but I'm not complaining. Compared to last year, this team is healthy as can be.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Oh.
All right, now, Bob, you got it.
I understand not wanting to announce, but maybe could you talk through? I get you.
Let them practice without knowing who they're facing.
That's smart. But options, like, have you decided Molina's in the rotation, in the pen? Who all could throw for you tomorrow?
Yeah, we all know Hagen's obviously the ace, but just how do you feel about the pitching staff overall? Because it's been a little bit of ebb and flow with everybody else. Just how do you feel about the pitching staff overall right now?
It was just so good for so long. And then when there was a little crack here and a little crack there, you start to see it, you feel it, it kind of takes you back because they carried us there. We knew they were going to throw strikes, and if we scored a few runs, we probably were going to win the game. The bullpen has done a great job all year for the most part, especially the first time through. We've had to recycle a guy, maybe not so good, but we've got some guys who've done a great job. And yeah, I mean, Molina throwing good. Those last 2 outings was like, hey, that's the guy that we brought in here. Hagen's outing the other day was, it's a guy that knows he's only going to throw 30 pitches or so, and he was too amped up, and he was up and out, arm side, and didn't make a play here, didn't make a play there, and he ended up throwing too many pitches, and he goes 2 instead of 3. We're hoping 3 maybe. And he'll be fine. Tiger, one really good inning, struggles, probably won't be on the 27 because he doesn't feel very good, so we'll leave it at that. And even if he was, it'd be 1 inning. So we got guys who can throw 1 inning and do a great job. Just want healthy people out there.
And then, Dave, not regional related, but one of the big stories in college baseball this week is potential elimination of scholarship limits. In your estimation, how big of a game changer can that be?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It'll be a game changer. So what's the difference between more scholarships or being able to pay the players or NIL money? Some teams might have X amount of scholarships and more money. I mean, it's all the same. What can you give them? How can you get them there? And, because there's some that have a lot more than others right now, and they're doing really well. There's some that have had an advantage over the years because of their institutional rules, and they didn't pertain to the NCAA, and they got to bring everybody in on what you're talking about, everything. And now you're seeing this. So I think there should be a couple different levels of Division I baseball. 100 that play to go to Omaha and 200 that play to go somewhere else if they're not going to get in the game. And they do it in football. Why don't we do it in baseball? Why don't we do it in other sports? And they might happen down the road, but it's going to be great to be able to offer at a minimum, a student athlete a full scholarship. And I don't know if it's going to be head count sport where we can't break them up. I don't know if you're going to get 25 or this school gets 20 and you get 25, but you can break up 5 or break. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Really just focused on this year, but keeping an eye on down the road. And we're not talking the 24-25 season. We're talking 25-26. So the next 12 to 18 months, there's going to be a lot of things going on, and it'll be interesting to see how it ends up. They're going to have to cut programs. What's going to go on? Where's all this money going to come from?
And along the lines of things changing, I was thinking this is the 20-year anniversary this week of Toops Grand Slam that changed things for your program. Just from your point of view, regional week, how much has it changed over the time that you've been a coach?
Well, you used to get there and you'd have a dinner with all the teams. It was a little annoying, but it was kind of nice too at the same time. You know, you just as a coach, you're kind of like, we really don't want to be around these guys sitting on the concourse or at some restaurant, or, you know, it was up to the school, and there would be banquets, there would be all kinds of stuff. Now it's basically you just get after it, you just play. How it affected us, you know, we first went to a regional in my first year here in 03, you know, 04, it was pretty celebrated that we were just making a regional. Now, if you don't go to Omaha, you know, you run into people in the town who kind of come up to you in the summer and say, man, you didn't have a very good year, did you? You know, I had that happen to me last year. And I said, well, did you know we won the SEC? And their comment was, you did? So it's kind of interesting. Our program's come a long way, a lot of expectation. I just kind of, I smile when I think about it. And I hate sometimes that the players feel so much pressure. I don't want them to feel the pressure. I just want them to play because they don't want to let anybody down. So, yeah, it's come a long way.
Dave, I want to follow up on what you said about Tiger. You said he likely won't be on 27. Has that decision been? He's not going to be on. Okay. You said he's not feeling good. Is that an arm or is it like an illness?
It's more like shoulder. It's not. It's a different. It's. I'm gonna let Corey tell you, but it's. I don't know. They're going to have to do some testing. You know, a little. I don't know the exact word. It's not a ligament. It's shoulder's not a problem. It's something that needs a little time.
So it's kind of TBA if he might be available like the following weekend if y'all get there.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. You know, I want guys when they get on the mound, they feel good about how they feel, and they go pitch and not have something going on, or you just the middle part of this game won't let you perform if you're thinking like that, and if you got something going on, which he does.
I was going to ask you about Brady too, but I guess follow up even more. He's been one of your key guys. I know he hadn't pitched that well lately, and maybe this explains why. But how big a loss is that? Is he from your pitching staff?
Well, if he was pitching like he could and has in the past, then I'd say it's a big loss. So if you're talking now, it's a big loss from 2 months ago, month and a half. But you know, we've been playing down the stretch with short starts and out of the pen and scrambling. I'd rather start guys that you're not just on pins and needles on how it's going to go. I mean, it just, and that's kind of what's been going on when he's on the mound. We just didn't know how he felt.